Hello, Marilyn. How are you?
Did you hear me? No?
No, we didn't. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I said I just got back from Los Angeles where my granddaughter graduated from high school.
Oh, congratulations. How was
Thank
it?
you. It was marvelous. It was whirlwind for a week. Parties, banquets, all sorts of
Marilyn, where do you live?
I live in Carlsbad and La Costa,
Okay, okay.
and they live in Los Angeles and Hermosa Beach, but they just bought a home in Newport Coast, and I'm a realtor, so I'm working on that deal and getting their place listed too. So ongoing. We're all
That's-
busy, 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 getting back into whatever we want to call normal. Hopefully, it's
yeah,
all normal.
yeah, for sure.
Exciting with the cruise lines. They sound like they're getting back into what they do best.
Yes, yes,
In
yes.
the water, right?
Life is starting to get back to normal. I just came back. Literally landed last yesterday from South Africa.
Oh
Um,
my goodness, how was it?
it was amazing. It was fantastic. I mean, South Africa never disappoints, but it was um it was very interesting to feel that you're traveling to the past. I mean, literally, it was like traveling to where we were maybe 8 months ago, six
Oh,
to eight
okay,
months ago.
sure.
Everything with the restaurants and the the just the protocols and the masks and everything is empty and nobody's, there's no tourism and there's no, like how everything felt 8 months ago when nothing was moving, right? and
Well, everything was on lockdown, so yes.
so they're going through a little bit of the same. I mean, obviously with a different outlook of the future, but at least, everything feels like how we felt months ago. And so
Yeah.
I was telling this poor Uber driver that, I was telling me that he hadn't had a client in I don't know how long, and I said, look, don't worry, I come from the future, things are just going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, that's good. People
Yeah,
have to have hope. I mean, it's really important.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Mr. Fuentes. How are you?
Doing very good. Sorry, I had some problems there, but I'm here.
It's good. It's good. So I today I'm just another guest in this event because Jazz is going to be taking the leader for me today.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, yeah. And we were just chatting here with Marilyn. I just came back from South Africa yesterday. It was a hell of a trip.
Oh, wow. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Hey Andy, what's up, buddy? How are you?
What's going on, Jazz? Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good.
Excellent. Then what we're gonna do? Let's see. I think I can do this. Can everybody see both Jazz and Andy on the screen right now?
I just turned off
Yeah.
my camera, so I just turned it back on.
Yes.
And Carlos, I guess we'll wait a little bit. Maybe start like at 3:05 to let some people kind of join. I know that people will join a little bit later, right? So we're good with that. About 3:05.
Yeah, yeah. We'll kind of start welcoming people as they join us today. We're expecting a good turnout today. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll kind of get started by at around 3:05.
Sounds good.
We were just chatting with Marilyn. Marilyn has been one of our guests for how long now, Marilyn? For quite some time already, right?
Oh, I've missed some meetings but overall, gosh, I can't keep track of time anymore. So I'd love to tell you, everyone's traveling. My kids are on their way to Bermuda tonight, and I thought everybody's moving it out. So it's all good.
It's all good. And
I just came from Key Largo, so I just went down an hour south, so nothing
Okay.
exciting.
Today is gonna be full of good news. We're gonna
Very good news.
share very good news from Crystal. And we were just saying we were just talking to Marilyn, we're just glad to see the cruise lines getting back to doing what they know to do.
For us, it's 10 days in counting till the first sailing gets out. So we can't wait.
Excellent.
Hey, Jesse. Hi, Andy. How you doing?
Pretty good. About yourself?
Not too bad. We both are at the beach, it looks like.
We are. But I like your beach, though. Your beach is
Yeah.
moving. Mine's still.
Well, you must have the formal beach because you have a sport coat on.
Yeah.
How have you been? Good?
Doing very good.
Excellent.
Doing very, very good.
Excellent.
I believe it's Crystal we're talking about here. And it has to be,
Yeah, I have to. Absolutely.
Andy, how are things over there at Crystal? The
I'm
office?
sorry?
You're not at the office yet, right?
No, I'm not. No, I won't be in the office now. Our office has opened, but I won't be in the office. I probably will go there maybe once every month when things are return to normal.
Okay.
They just let some folks in, so we have our team back, and hopefully we'll be fully staffed by the summer's end. And then they'll let me in. They'll let me in. They give me access to the car. They can see everybody, and I haven't seen folks since March of last year. As a matter of fact, last time I went to the office was to shoot a video, and it feels like things are stuck in time. You have calendars from March of 2020. Somebody we're marking their vacation, and you have there, and it hasn't been marked, and so forth and so on. So I'm just glad that things are opening up and getting back to normal.
Yeah, for sure.
How's the baby?
Baby's doing great. My God, he's so big. He sits, he eats solid. So we just tried garbanzos for the first time, and he's enjoying them, and strawberries and mangoes and bananas. And I was 7th month old, by the way, for those that don't know. So he just keeps growing and growing, but he's doing very good.
Good.
All right, so we're hitting 3 p.m. Jazz, why don't you start kind of start getting the ball rolling, welcoming people, and kind of giving us a little bit of what's going to happen today. I think Jazz is yes. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's make sure that we're all ready to go. Andy, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, cool. Jazz?
I am here. Hey, so we can mention now, you'll notice that a lot of the agents, as everybody starts to log in, you'll notice that most of the advisors over here at Luxury Cruise Connections will have Luxury Cruise Connections next to their name. And of course, you all know who Andy is. And we'll get things going in just a second. Also, throughout the webinar, oh, there you go. He'll have Crystal Cruises next to his. So throughout the webinar, you'll also see some polls pop up, and you'll be able to go ahead and answer those. It'll kind of give us a nice indication as to where you are in the cruising process, if you're ready to get out on the water, if you're looking for 2022, 2023, things like that. So you'll see those messages pop up throughout the webinar. And also, of course, if you have any questions, please make sure you send your questions through the chat. One of our advisors will be able to reach out to you after the webinar has concluded as well. But if you do want to reach out to someone, if you do have a request that you're interested in a specific sailing, please make sure you go ahead and not only ask us the questions in the chat, but go ahead and request an advisor to contact you after the webinar has concluded as well. So hopefully we can answer all your questions. I'm sure Andy will answer a lot of the questions as we move through the webinar also. So keep that in mind. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to send us on the chat, and we'll be able to answer them with a nice short Q&A session after the webinar as well. So thanks for everybody that's joining. I see a couple of people I know here as well, with Lonnie and Bernard and a couple of the other ones. Thank you guys for joining. We'll get it started here in a few moments. Thank you.
Great, and I'm going to remove myself from the main screen, let you do your thing, and then I'll jump back in later on. I'll be here.
Please, Carlos, feel free to jump in at your leisure.
All right, good stuff, good stuff.
Okay. Hi, Jazz. It's nice to actually see a face.
Hey, Lonnie, yes, absolutely. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
How you guys
I want
holding
to know
up?
what Crystal's plans are, because we have a cruise planned in October. So
That's right. Well, you came to the right webinar. I'm sure Andy will be able to answer a lot of the questions you have. If you want, shoot me over some on the chat. Shoot me over any messages or any questions that you have also, and we'll make sure we'll answer them if Andy doesn't, answer them throughout the website, the webinar. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Oh, don't do that. Losing it.
Hey, Andy. So I think 3:05. So I think we're ready
All
to
right.
get going. If you are,
I am.
Take it away.
All right, so let me go ahead and share the screen. Okay. And keep me honest here, Jazz. You see the presentation?
Yep.
You see the full presentation, or you see black screen and a presentation?
Now I see the full screen.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Again, thank you very much for joining. As you know, the rumors are true. I am Andy Fuentes, and I am the Strategic Business Development Manager for Crystal Cruises. And thank you very much for joining LCC and Crystal in this webinar, the Return to Service. Like I mentioned before, 10 days and counting, Crystal will have its first voyage leaving out of Nassau, Bahamas. So before we get to dive in what's going on and our itineraries for 2021, just want to address two things, and then we'll move forward. The first one is what our protocols are. So I will say that there is ongoing changes to these protocols. So definitely I will give you kind of a brief overview of what we're talking about here during this presentation. If you like in-depth, like if you have a specific question, like, we're talking about testing for a specific itinerary, or, you have a shore excursion, do I need to be in an excursion bubble, so forth and so on. There's two ways you can find in-depth details. The first one is talk to your LCC travel advisor. That's where they're here for. They can advise you on, what's the latest and greatest. We communicate with them what's happening with a specific itinerary or a specific experience. Another way you can find out is to go to crystalcruises.com/crystal clean. And there's another way you can find those protocols. But I'm telling you, the best way to go is to talk to your LCC travel advisor. They will tell you exactly what's going on. And if they don't have the answer, trust me, they will find me and we'll get you that answer. That's what our partnership here is for. So to dive in deep, let's talk about the Bahamas. And I just want to mention something. I just saw a question rise up, and I just want to get that out of the way, address the big elephant in the room, and that is Crystal Cruise stability. I know there's some articles out there about our parent company, Genting. I know that there were some things in the news for us a year back. So let me just say that Crystal Cruises is fine. You know, we're in business. As a matter of fact, we led the industry announcing our first ever cruise return back to service in the Bahamas. We have partnerships with the Bahamas, and that's they let us exclusively let us to travel around the Bahamian Islands. So I know there's some jitters out there, and there's some worrisome what's going on. You know, we have fulfilled a majority of our financial debt. We are honestly full steam ahead. So if you have a cruise down in 2022, 23, or even 24, rest assured that Crystal Cruises is here to stay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take me off, and then I'm going to show you these great itineraries, because I definitely like to focus on what's going on here with us today. So return back to service, like I mentioned, 10 days in counting with the Bahamas cruise. And we're going to sail with Serenity. Now, Serenity, I know the question is, well, are we have a full ship? It's going to be 50%. You know, I know some other lines are traveling with 50, 75%. Well, Crystal is sailing with 90% capacity on board the Serenity. So normally we'll be sailing like 900 guests. That's pre-COVID. So we're going to sail roughly around 750 to 800 passengers. Will it be vaccinated? That's another question that a lot of folks are asking. Yes, everybody must be vaccinated in order to travel with Crystal Cruises. Okay. Now, the good news I can tell you about the Bahamas is the question of, do you have to be in an excursion bubble? The answer is no, you do not. If you're fully vaccinated, the Bahamian government has actually allowed our guests to roam around these ports of call freely without being an excursion bubble. If you want an excursion with us, obviously we do have that available for you. If you just want to go to a restaurant or go to the beach or just roam around freely by yourself, you absolutely can. There isn't going to be any restrictions on that. So moving on, this is actually what the sailings are going to look like. So we're leaving out of Nassau or Bimini. There are 7-day voyages. You can board in Nassau or you can board in Bimini. We do have some pre and post packages for you, which I will cover. And pretty much this is just kind of getting folks that want to experience Crystal Cruises for the very first time. You don't want to take, want to put their toe in the water, see what what we're all about. Or those folks that have traveled with us before and really just want to get back on Serenity. The pricing right now is amazing. I mean, I've seen pricing for Caribbean sailings before, and these prices, honestly, they're about 60% off to like, I'll even say a little bit more like 70% off the normal pricing. Now, the reasons we're doing this again is just to gain back confidence in the marketplace. And we want our folks to come back. We want everybody to experience the product. And these great itineraries the Bahamian government has allowed us to go to really is extraordinary. Well, I will cover here just a few of the ports of call that you may not heard of before. I mean, everybody knows Nassau. I've been to Nassau like a few times. I'm sure that you have too. But other itineraries or other ports of call rather that we have gone to is Long Island. Now it's not. Don't get confused with Long Island, New York. All right, this is like in Long Island, Bahamas. So a couple of things that you want to do in Long Island if you're into dining. They have great restaurants. They have casual, even upscale restaurants all over the island. Obviously, in the Bahamas, the main dish is the conch, and they have conch in all types and forms. if you're into fishing, this is a great place to do a fishing excursion, especially like bone fishing or like open water fishing. Is actually a very good island to do that. And as well as diving, as you see there, Dean's Blue Hole is the world's second deepest reef that you can go and dive. Another one is going to be San Salvador Island. San Salvador Island is, again, a lot of beach and tours. This is actually the historic site where Christopher Columbus landed. So if you're into history, if you're into sites, it definitely is a good island you take advantage. Also snorkeling, actually it's one of the world's best snorkeling areas in Heron Island. Grand Exuma is another one. Grand Exuma is different types of islands. We actually dock in Grand Exuma, and then we have several boats that goes into the different islands. One of the ones obviously is very famous is Swimming with the Pigs. So again, if you're into golfing, if you're into fishing, if you're into snorkeling, diving, restaurants, so forth and so on, definitely this itinerary calls to you. We've actually met with a lot of the golf pros that are specialized in the Bahamas, and we have great courses if you're into that. So definitely something that you can check out with us with their excursions, and then an LCC travel advisor can point you in direction exactly what you want to do in these different islands. So if you're into pre and post, if obviously it's 7 days, you want to extend, we have deals with 2 resorts. The first one is the SLS Bahamar in Nassau, and then the other one is the Resorts World Bimini Hilton in Bimini. So we do have a package for you if you want to extend your stay pre and post. Maybe make it a 10 night, make it a 14 night, whatever you want. We do have those exclusive deals here for you. So I just kind of leave those on the screen. So let's talk about, what's the deals out there, what are we offering, so forth and so on. So what we're offering is, first off, the price. Like I said, the pricing is going to be not the usual pricing that you will see on a Crystal Cruise. You have fares right now starting at $19.99 per person. Now, it's a little bit different than probably what you're used to. We have one pricing per category, and you can choose whatever stateroom you like from that category. So you don't have to worry about a different pricing for midship or deck levels or anything like that. Basically, one price gives you the pick of the litter. The second thing that we're offering is $125 as you wish shipboard credit per person. Like I mentioned, if you want to do excursion with us, definitely you take advantage of that shipboard credit, or the spa. Again, we have various things you can spend that shipboard credit on. Just remember that gratuities are included, alcohol is included, same thing with specialty dinings. All of those already are included with your pricing. In addition to that, we're also giving our past guests a 5% discount on the pricing. If you're new to brand rather, it's 2.5%. So we still give you discounts on top of that. If you're a single traveler, the single supplement is 125%. $100 reduced deposit. So to book your cruise, all you have to do is $100, and the final payment is not due until 60 days prior to sailing. In addition to that, because we are partnered with LCC and they let us do the presentation today, we're giving an additional $150 off per person on the pricing as well. So all of this here, again, for our 2021 Bahamas Serenity Cruise 7 days. So again, this is something that, if you have ever experienced us before, it's a great opportunity to come on board, see what we're all about, see what the hype is. And definitely, you're going to see that our service is top notch. You're going to see the 6-star luxury service that we offer on board a Crystal Cruise. So, and I liked this presentation. We talk about, the Caribbean, Bahamas, the hot. Let's talk about somewhere cooler. So let's go a little bit up north. And the north I'm talking about is Iceland. We have our 2021 Iceland itineraries on the Crystal Endeavor. So it's a very different experience from the ocean ships. these are our expedition ships. So normally, the thought process was to be expedition to make her maiden voyage in Antarctica. Obviously, COVID had other plans, but not to worry, we're going to have her maiden voyage in Iceland. So talk about a little bit about the expedition. She's honestly top-notch, like first-in-class expedition ship. This picture right here, I know that it's a little small, so I apologize, but you see our solarium. Our view about this particular place is that when you go to solarium, to the pools, to the restaurants, so forth and so on, and the actual casual dining is around that area, is that when you go to Antarctica, you can see, the glaciers, the mountains, so forth and so on. You get to see that in Iceland as well. But honestly, it is one of the best views you get to see in any one of our itineraries. Also, Endeavour does have a helicopter and a submarine that we're not going to get to use it in Iceland, but and that's because of their rules, but we are going to use it when we go in our normal itineraries to Antarctica. So definitely something to keep in mind here in the future. So other things I want to show you is the itinerary. So it is a 10-night Reykjavik itinerary. Now, I'll be honest with you. I've been in the industry for about good 20 years. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce these names. Reykjavik is one that I know clearly. That's actually one on my bucket list. But just to give you a view exactly where our itineraries are going to go. And each of the white dots actually is a port of call that we're going to get to. And this all starts on July the 17th. And again, they are 10 nights. So I'll leave that there for folks to see it, to read it. Now, if you want to do something different, so I have folks, I've been to Iceland, I haven't been around Iceland, but I want to do something different. I have an appetite to, visit different places. Then after the August 26th sailing, we're going to do the Viking voyage. And what is that? We're going to go from Reykjavik, but we're going to end up in Norway. So that's another thing that we're going to do after the August sailing. I think about October, if I'm not mistaken, is where we're going to end those itineraries. But this is a great itinerary for those of you that have maybe been to Iceland before or want to experience Norway. See the Northern Lights. So it's actually a great area to see the Northern Lights and a great time of year to see the Northern Lights. So definitely something that to keep in mind if you're wanting to do not the round trip Reykjavik, but do the Viking voyage. And this is actually the itinerary more in depth. So about the expedition cruise, we include honestly everything on board expedition. We include excursions, we include gratuities, we include any type of alcoholic beverages. So basically, you don't have to worry about anything on board expedition cruises. Our excursions that you can pick from, they're honestly our expedition team will be there to guide you, will help you into the zodiacs, give you really that 6-star service to see these wonderful places, especially in Iceland. And some of the things that they describe on the excursions, where you can see puffins, you can see, the cliffs, you can all these towns that honestly, they're very picturesque. So again, all of those already are included with your fare. And honestly, like I said, the fare is, again, very, very, very discounted. Iceland with Endeavour, we want to gain confidence again for you to come by, to look at us, to try us out, and hopefully you will join us out of Ushuaia in 2023 down to Antarctica here in the future. So fare starts at $15,999. The Journey of the Vikings, $13,999. You'll get a $300 as you wish shipboard credit per person. Same thing, 5% discount if you're a past guest, 2.5% discount additional to the shipboard credits. If you're new to Crystal, 150 single supplement, reduced deposits, and again, it's going to be 60-day prior to service that we get your final payment. There are some discounts for exclusively LCC, an additional $200 per person discount on an Iceland itinerary if you like to take advantage of that. And again, your LCC travel advisor will explain a bit more in depth. So that is honestly what we're going on for 2021. We do have our 2022 voyages as well. The Mozart is returning back to our fleet, and that's on our river cruise. The Mozart does have single rooms. So what that means is that we are not going to take out any additional single supplement on the Mozart. The Mozart will have single staterooms at 100%. That's, again, not 200%, it's 100%. So great advantage to take our river cruises. And in 2023, we have our river cruises doing 5 nights for the very first time for those folks that want to try our river product. Yacht cruises will return back to service here hopefully next year. And then new itineraries, and then our world cruise for 2023 and 2024 will be out here. So again, a lot of things going on at Crystal. We are proud to have our Serenity do her maiden voyages back to service 10 days from now. We're good to go. We're green to go, and we are excited, anticipated, a pent-up desire to welcome back our guests back on board. So there's a few changes to our policy, and it's for the good. So I don't want you to get scared when you see that. And our policy basically is, again, we're trying to get that confidence back in the market. So we do have reduced deposits for 2021 through 2024. We have we relaxed final payments as well, and then also our cancellation policy has also been a little bit more relaxed. Again, I want you to see those numbers. I don't want you to worry too much. Again, your LCC travel advisor will go in depth when you pick out your cruise, or no matter when you're going to go. They will let you know exactly when your final payments are due, and so forth and so on. But just kind of give you a broad overview of what's going on. And now I have to talk about this elephant in the room, which is the vaccine. As I mentioned, everybody must be vaccinated in order to travel on board a Crystal cruise. Regrettably, if you're not vaccinated, unfortunately, you wouldn't be denied boarding. You won't be able to go. Everybody must be vaccinated. For the crew, they also will be vaccinated as well. So again, it's just for everybody's protection. Make sure everybody has a great time. We don't want you to worry about that. We want you to worry about exactly what drink you're going to order on the first day of the cruise. That's what you want to do. And again, just kind of give you some great tips here. Our partnership with LCC really is extraordinary, and we give them the deals. So if you do like something here today, or if you're looking to do something else in your to-do list, talk to them. They have the promotions. We give them a very exclusive promotion so you can travel with Crystal Cruises. And with that, I finished my presentation. Definitely will kick it back to Jazz to see if we can answer some questions. Jazz?
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it. As you can see, we started with the polls there now. Excuse me. But if anybody has any questions, please feel free to either type it in the chat, or if you want to go ahead and speak to Andy directly, you can use the hand raise option, or I can get to you as well. Now, Carlos, do you have any questions? Have you gotten any feedback as well?
Yeah, let me start with some some quick question as we kind of get the ball rolling here. Andy, what's the many cruise. I know that the cancellation policy has been relaxed quite a bit, right? But then we have some cruise lines out there offering even more flexibility in terms of being able to change, move, cancel, and receive future cruise credit. Even sometimes up to 48 hours prior. What is the most current policy with Crystal in terms of that in general?
In general, it's basically less than a week. So if you can basically do any credits or anything like that, especially for 2021, but a final decision has to be made a week prior. A week prior is going to be our stop. Okay, so as long as as long as the guest decides to suspend or to cancel up to a week prior, they can take
100% future cruise credit or whatever the penalty is at the time.
Well, it wouldn't be 100%. Well, it also depends on, but it'll be some type of credit. And again, those cancellation policies will be in every confirmation. You can see specifically because they change from 2021 to 22, and so forth.
Right. And for 2021, basically 7 days out, you're at 50% penalty, correct?
Right, exactly.
Right. So that case would be 50% of the cruise fare in the form of an FCC.
Right.
Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense. In terms of and just in a minute we'll let Jazz go through the questions from the guests. But in the meantime, Andy, what's the expectation regarding full normality in terms of all the other sailings? I mean, should we expect that anything that currently is not suspended will then sail according to plan?
Not very much is suspended right now. There's only, actually, I think 2 programs are suspended, and that's it. When you go out, and I saw a question about masks, so we'll address the mask here in just a second. But the only thing that's suspended currently right now, and again, I say it to everybody I talk to, things are fluid. So when I say things are canceled today, June 24th, may not be canceled when the first ship goes out in 10 days. That's how things are changing. So the only programs that are suspended is the dance host, club ambassador. That has been suspended to further notice, as well as the kids program and babysitting. That's also been suspended. Other than that, everything is to normal.
So so why don't we give you just maybe 5 minutes to share with us? We just received the results for the last fall, and 71% of our guests today have not sailed with Crystal before. So I think it would be very relevant, at least to those 71% of the people hearing us today, for you to share some key pointers about what makes Crystal Cruises so special. Okay. Why would anybody want to go on a Crystal cruise? What is it about that experience that is so attractive for so many? Just to kind of do a quick endorsement here for you.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely do my elevator speech, as they say. So honestly, like, we are, there, and I tell folks, if you haven't experienced a luxury product before, and the luxury product is away from, the contemporary brands, the big 3, as I call them, the premium brands. This is kind of off the top of the line. So we're one of a few that are in this particular echelon. What makes us very different is going to be, number one, and you're going to hear this as soon as you walk on board, is our service. And you're going to hear 6-star standard service. But what is 6-star? And that's a question that I get a lot, especially, when I tell actually my friends and family about Crystal. And 6-star service is honestly anticipating what you want. So it's great to go to a bar, you do your first order, but then the bartender knows automatically who you are personally and what drinks you order. So by the time the bartender even sees you coming onto the bar, your drink's already ready. The stateroom attendant, they know exactly what temperature you like your stateroom, how your bar wants to be stacked. What do you want, glass with your bottles of water, and so forth and so on. That's honestly the type of service. When you go an excursion, you're not going to be with a mass amount of people. You're going to be with this small group of people. Even pre-COVID, it was this way. Small group of people, and you get that one-to-one service with our crew. And that's honestly same thing with restaurants. Your waiter's not attending 10 tables. Your waiter maybe be attending just 2. With COVID now, probably even just 1. So this is honestly the service that we put out there. And it doesn't matter if the service for you is at a restaurant, if it's in your stateroom, with towels, the pools, everything is to you. We customize things here for you. And that's honestly a thing that, we say throughout Crystal Cruises. Another thing that I honestly see Crystal very different from any other of our competitors is the amount of entertainment, the amount of things that we do on board. Normally, when you get a smaller ship, you don't have that much entertainment, you don't have much things to do, but we do. And the fact that we're not going to sacrifice that because of what's going on nowadays, that honestly speaks volumes of what Crystal is all about. The food, top-notch cuisine. We have Chef Nobu on board all of our cruises, as our ocean brands, and also the Endeavor. The yacht, for example, is something that 66 passengers. It's kind of like you're going with large group of your friends, and you're going to these different places. So in all honesty, what I see the value on board Crystal is just that you're being pampered, you're being taken care of. And I know that's cliche, I know that some other cruise lines may say, but we really put our money where our mouth is. We really show you, the first class service that you're going to experience once you're on board a Crystal Cruise. And I'm sure most of, I think some of your advisors have gone either on board, have sailed with us, and basically you could also see volumes of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the reviews are clearly incredible. I mean, it's a very consistent 5-star review every time a guest comes back from Crystal, and that makes our job very easy. We at Luxury Cruise Connections, we're all about service. We're all about delivering that, incredible level of happiness to our guests. And that goes beyond what we can do over the phone for our guests, and really has to go beyond, has to go all the way through the travel experience. So we feel very confident, very comfortable to put our guests on board your ships, because we know they're going to come back happy and they're going to refer more clients. So
absolutely.
So go for it, Jazz.
Yeah, I can start off with some questions, but just to kind of piggyback off of what you all said is people who haven't sailed on not only a luxury line, but a line like Crystal Cruises may not understand the worth. It's worth its weight in gold when it comes to that exceptional service. And I think that people take it for granted when they go on some of these larger cruise ships, not having that type of service, don't understand the difference. And once you start noticing the difference, it's something you never want to lose again, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And Andy, I think, says it perfectly, how important it is to, especially, if you're going to pay this amount of money to go on the trip of a lifetime, you definitely want that type of service anyways, right? So it's worth its weight in gold. So just wanted to piggyback off of what you all said there with that. We do have a couple of questions, and it's funny you mentioned the Endeavor. The first question we have is, what is the dinner dress code for the Endeavor? Is it any different than the other ships, Andy?
No, it's not. It's going to be a resort casual.
Perfect. Okay. And then you said you were going to answer the masks.
Yeah. So here's the mask. So the mask situation. So I'll give a little peek behind the curtain. For the Bahama cruise, because folks will be vaccinated. And again, we are going to show, we have to show proof of the vaccination, by the way. We're going to lift the mask requirement. So in the Bahamas, you do not have to wear a mask on board the cruise. Now, when you're on a bus, when you're waiting to get embarkation and debarkation, basically when you're outside, yeah, there is going to be social distance. There is going to be mask requirements when you're out of the ship, and that's again because of the Bahamian government. But on board, mask requirements will be lifted for the Bahamas. For Iceland, we haven't gotten anything about Iceland, but I wouldn't be surprised if that follows suit. Again, like I said at the very beginning of this presentation, is things are very fluid. Things may change. So again, just keep informed with your LCC travel advisor. They'll let you know what's going on. But that announcement should be coming up very soon, either today or tomorrow, that mask requirements for the Bahamas will be lifted. So yeah, that's going to be a feeling of normality.
Nice. And I know I'm going out of order here, but it kind of goes hand in hand with that question is, what exactly must the guest show as proof of vaccination?
Yeah, your COVID, when you got a COVID vaccine, they give you the card. I don't know the formal name of it, but they do give your card showing proof that you received the 2 shots of Pfizer, Moderna, or the 1 shot of Johnson & Johnson. You will need to show that. I think you can take a picture, upload it, something like that, and then obviously you take it with you when you get on board. So that's proof of vaccination. So I know the buzz for folks living in Florida, Governor DeSantis, so forth and so on. So we honestly have not made a decision what's gonna happen there when we return to Miami in November, when Serenity does make that return. So all I can say is, again, stay tuned. But for the Bahamas and Iceland, you will have to show your COVID vaccination card.
Thank you.
Do you need to get a PCR test before you go to the Bahamas?
PCR, no, not for the Bahamas. When you go into the Bahamas, they do not require the PCR test. Now, when you come back to the States, the United States does require it. And we do have an opportunity for you to get testing with Crystal, a PCR antigen test that you need to return back to the United States, and that will be available for $30 per person.
Okay, great. When will shore? So there's another question with the Endeavor for apparently an Africa trip between March and April 2022. When will shore excursions be available for the Endeavor? Because I guess apparently other 2022 Endeavor cruises list shore excursions already.
Yeah, usually they are available 6 months prior to sailing. That's when you would see, actually 6 to 9 months prior to sailing is when you would see the shore excursions pop out. Now I do know with Endeavor, since it's gonna, her maiden voyage is gonna be in July, that we're still under negotiations for excursions. So I would say just stay tuned.
Perfect. Are there any age restrictions on Crystal?
No, there's not age restrictions, but I just want to also address the vaccination. I know some cruise lines, all they need is a negative antigen test for children. Just keep in mind that we do require everyone, no matter what age, to be vaccinated.
And so that means that at least while there is the vaccination requirement for Crystal, then kids basically won't be able to go.
Right. Anyone, right, currently right now, younger than 12 years old won't be allowed in.
And so that vaccination requirement right now is in place for sailings until what date?
For right now, they're for all sailings for right now.
So if I am booked and I have a 10-year-old kid for departing January, to just hold off to see if there's changes on this?
Right now, again, our policy is being always reviewed. And yes, I mean, that's basically the best advice you can give, is to see exactly what we're going to do or what the industry does for any sailings in January or thereafter. As of today, it is everybody must be vaccinated in order to board a Crystal cruise.
And that applies not only to ocean sailings, river cruises.
All of our experience, right? All of our experiences must be vaccinated. And again, this could change from today and tomorrow. As you see, like, things have changed. If we would have done this presentation back in May, I would say, you have to wear a mask. I mean, there is no ands if buts about it. I would say, that you have to be social distant and so forth and so on. And look where we are today. So, we are trying to get back to normal as much as possible. We are reviewing always the policies, but as it stands right now, you do have to be vaccinated. But again, we're talking about June. Things could be very different from here to September, from here to January. So always just stay tuned. That's the best advice I can give you.
So, Andy, I got a question for you, because I know a lot of our clients do ask us, any clients that do request information on Crystal Cruises, and they ask us why work with Luxury Cruise Connections as opposed to going straight with Crystal. Maybe you can kind of lend some insight as to what the benefit is and how that would work.
That's an easy one. I mean, I would definitely go with an LCC travel advisor. And here's the thing. And I'm just going to give you some inside information, and not just for Crystal, but for everybody. Cruise lines, specifically Crystal, they give the exclusive and best deals to our travel partners. And me personally, I give, the exclusive deals to LCC, and that's the reasons why, you have that $150 off per person ship program. Sorry, $150 savings off the Bahama cruise. You have the $200 savings per person for Iceland, and additional sailings in 2022. You do have, $200 off per person as well. So we give these exclusive deals to them because we want to partner with somebody that kind of translates what we our experience on board. And LCC is also 6-star service. They're the ones that are going to really, and believe me, I've dealt with almost all of them. They're the ones that are honestly going to review everything, dot the I's, cross the T's, and get you the very best deal. Carlos wakes me up at 4 o'clock in the morning and says, "Hey, you haven't given my guy the best deal. What's going on?" And I say, "Carlos, let me have my coffee at 6 a.m. All right, I'll get back to you." But honestly, they come to me and make sure that you get the best deal, you get the best service. So once you come on board, honestly, you don't have to worry about anything. And that's, again, it translates our service on board to our service when you book your vacation.
And by the way, that's not an exaggeration, what Andy's saying. Carlos smiling, knows it.
Thank you very much for that very nice endorsement, Andy. Truly appreciate it. Yeah, that's why this partnership is it's so great, because we believe in the same things, and when you're aligned in terms of what you believe, then things just naturally flow in the right direction. So we're happy to be in such great partnership with you guys. We've been doing this for a long time, and we look forward to continue to send many of our guests on many more Crystal cruises. I have a couple more questions I want to ask you, Andy. Since we were talking a little bit about the Endeavor, I just want to kind of share with our guests what an amazing opportunity it is to really try out those Endeavor itineraries out of Iceland. I mean, there's a lot of Iceland itineraries being promoted right now, as Iceland is one of the countries that originally, or that first, I guess, started allowing cruises to sail out of there. But the Endeavor nobody's ever actually sailed on the Endeavor.
Correct. That route is straight out of the wrapper.
Literally, it's a brand new ship, and it's a state-of-the-art ship. We want to share with our guests a little bit about the Endeavor and why is it so special.
Yeah, I mean, other than here's the thing, for Crystal, what we thought of is, what folks have, and I know that majority of your folks are first timers, but once you go on a experience, whether it be our ocean ships or be a river or yacht or expedition, you're getting the exact same service. So to open this particular ship up, number one, you have our staff here that are amazing, but also you do have, like I've mentioned, the rooms of the solarium. You also have entertainment. You have the auditoriums that our ocean ships have. You have the restaurants that our ocean ships have. As a matter of fact, the specialty dining on board Endeavor is larger than the ocean ships, ironically. So we have put in millions of dollars in this piece of machinery, so folks, from one, they don't miss what they experience somewhere else. In addition to, you have the mud rooms, and which, if you go to all these different excursions, you definitely need to change, and the parkas, and we include all the parkas, and the Zodiac, so forth and so on. But also the suites. You're talking about large staterooms, and by the way, these suites, and every stateroom is a suite, by the way. Every single stateroom on Endeavor has a butler. So if you've never experienced a butler before, say, hey, you know what? Wow, what would it be like to experience, to have a butler in your stateroom? Endeavor has that. So you put all these luxury touches, and the main thing about Endeavor that I'm going to tell you is the itinerary it goes to. So Iceland, I know, it's something that I honestly want to go, and the itinerary where it goes, look at the different ports of call, and these are ports of call that honestly other cruise ships can't get to because they're just massive. We can go to because we're a little bit more petite. but going also to different spots. Maybe if Iceland isn't your cup of tea, that's okay. No, we have Antarctica in the future. No, we're going to open up Antarctica for 2023, 2024. We're going to go to the Seychelles. We're going to go to the Greek islands. And if you really want to go to these remote Greek islands, and I'm sure everybody's seen the show Below Deck, and it's all the yacht going to these different types of Greek islands. Those actually are the Greek islands that Dever is going to go to. All these different types of itineraries is where this particular ship is going, and you don't lose anything of the luxury touch. So yes, it is an expedition ship. Yes, you probably have some other folks that say this is our expedition ship, but no one is going to have every single thing that we have on our ocean ships on board this particular a cruise ship. So definitely I recommend doing this, either this itinerary or any other itineraries that the Endeavor does.
Yeah, definitely, definitely a unique experience. I mean, there's nothing like it out there. And I want to also use this opportunity, since we are talking about all these different, all these different things that Crystal has to offer. I also want to highlight the fact that Crystal is, for those that don't know, I mean, Andy spoke about it very briefly, but Crystal has the most upscale river cruises in the market right now. And they happen to have one very, very special, which is the Mozart, right? Which, Andy, why don't you share with our audience a little bit about the Mozart ship? Why is it so special as well, so that we can kind of share that with those that haven't,
Yeah, so Mozart, for me, Mozart, it's a little bit unique. Number one, because it was the first river ship that we opened up with. She left our fleet, and now she's returned back. But in her return, she's been completely refurbished. We have the youngest fleet in the river industry. And one of the things I like about the Mozart is the single staterooms. That's one of the things that I love the most. That we have made these particular staterooms accommodate for single travelers. And this particular ship is the only ship in our fleet that has that 100% single supplement.
That's very important. A lot of people out there are looking for great deals for traveling solo. So that's great to know. That's great to hear. What other questions do we have out there, Jazz?
Kind of quiet a little bit. I think people are nervous to talk to Andy. I don't know.
I don't bite, I promise. I'm good.
Now, here we go. We just got one right now. So I think you mentioned the Iceland cruise in 2021 was 10 days, but I don't recall you saying how long the journey of the Vikings cruise was. How long is it, if you have any idea?
It's, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to draw blank right now, but I believe it's about 16 nights, if I'm not mistaken. Let me actually, I just drew a blank because this is a new itinerary we announced not too long ago.
And by the way, Jack, if you're interested in that itinerary, you can definitely reach out to one of us, and we'll give you the full breakdown and all the all the information on that cruise as well.
Yeah, that was a new itinerary. So now it's a few weeks. Not a few weeks. I think it was a week and a half ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That we opened up. So
that's right.
I have a question for Andy.
Go for it.
You mentioned in your presentation, you were talking about 2023 World Cruise. 2022, we also have a World Cruise going, right?
Right, correct.
How's the availability for that 2022 or 2023 World Cruise? How's that?
So going? 2023 is very, very limited space. 2022 is sold out. No, it's completely sold out. And 2023 is very a few staterooms here and there. So everybody's anticipated for 2024. 2024 should be out here very shortly. But yeah, it's 2023. There's still some space. If you're definitely interested, you still can get on. But definitely do it sooner rather than later, because I think we're going to sell this out here pretty soon.
When do you anticipate 2024 is going to be out?
2024 should be out. Well, we've been told it's the end of the month. So probably next week you'll be out. If anything, probably after the 4th of July holiday. But I'm talking about the next few weeks. You should have 2024 out.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. And how's demand in general for for not for this a recently released itinerary, but for for what you had on the board before. We're noticing very extremely limited availability for the rest of 2021 and 2022. Are you feeling the same thing, Crystal?
We are 2020 that the Iceland itineraries 2021 flew off the shelves, and that's why we built this Norway itinerary. Um, that folks want more than just Iceland. So we include Iceland and Norway, but Iceland actually itself like flew out of the shelves here. The first few itineraries that we did. Bahamas also the same thing. When we announced Bahamas, it flew. There has been actually some cranked up back in for September and October. And then obviously 2022, Mozart has gone out, the river ships as more Christmas markets, the tulips, we have seen a lot of that pent up desire. So the reasons why we're here is basically everybody the hi, we're still alive, we're still okay. Come by, nothing has changed, nothing will change. If you have experienced our product before, or if you're brand new, we're giving an opportunity for you to try us for the very first time. Hopefully, you come back to see us here for a river adventure or yacht adventure expedition or ocean. So yeah, we have seen that kind of desires for us. We have seen, things are picking up, but we have seen things booked for more out there because folks again want to go to Africa, folks want to go to Australia, folks wants to do the world cruise, so forth and so on.
So that $100 deposit policy that you have going on right now applies for any sailing in?
No, only Bahamas.
Only Bahamas.
Only Bahamas, yeah. The Iceland itineraries is 15% reduced deposit.
Okay. What about regular 2022 itinerary?
Those are reduced deposit 15%.
15%. Okay.
Normal is 25%, but it's 15%.
Andy, I know we spoke about this at the beginning of the conversation, the beginning of the presentation, but should anybody be concerned about in case they need a refund or anything like that? How's Crystal catching up with all the refunds in general? Are you guys up to speed? Has everybody gotten the refund back? Is everybody?
Great question. So yes, like the majority of the folks have gotten their refunds back. So we've actually closed 2020. Yay! We have closed. Everybody who was owed a refund back in 2020, I've received it. So that is done and over with. We're now doing 2021. So obviously we had some 2021 cancellations that we're going to give out the refunds. Our goal is honestly for the end of summer to have caught up everything. And I mean everything, close the books, and that's it. We're done. So the question arises, okay, so I understand about 2020 and past 2021, but what about the future? So what if I place a deposit on a cruise and something happens, I can't make it, I have to get a refund? Do I have to wait these extraordinary months or weeks, whatever that I've seen on social media, or I've seen around all the headlines? The answer is no. So what we've done to be transparent, what we have done is to put deposits and final payments, all that good jazz, into reserve accounts. So we hate to use that word, escrow accounts, but in reality, that's basically what it is. So what we have done is we put in these things in these accounts. And so if there's anything like the crisis we had because of COVID, we're not going to take these long delays. We're going to issue out refunds right away. This was put to the test, unfortunately. We had some folks that had to move shift around. Didn't mention Symphony. Symphony is doing something different now, which will be announced in the next few days. But Symphony's going to do a different run. She was advertised to do Caribbean. Now she's going to do something else. But people have gotten their refunds pretty fast. So it's put that to the test. So I want folks not to worry, if they're going to put a deposit on a cruise in 2021 or somewhere thereafter, they're not going to wait these wait times that we had in the past. We've learned from our mistakes and we have moved forward.
Andy, I do have a question. Excuse me, I've received this a couple times now, and it's just something to emphasize as well regarding this webinar and the Zoom call, the discounts that that the guest will be getting is only for new bookings, correct?
That is correct. It is for new bookings
Gotta
only.
emphasize that, right? Okay, perfect.
That's a good point, Jess. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a question that we often get as people join us on this event. I'd like to kind of re-emphasize this to our guests. What Crystal is doing here with us, particularly is to promote new bookings. Obviously, prices have changed quite a bit, and so it is, for people that booked 6 months ago, 3 months ago, you probably took advantage of great pricing, and so that's the advantage that you have for booking early. For those that that want to book another booking, any new reservation that you make right now for the next 2 weeks. Is that correct, Andy?
That's right. The promote ends on July 8th.
Correct. So that those bookings are going to have this benefit. Now it's $150 per person
For the Bahamas,
for the
right?
Bahamas.
And then $200 for other sailings. That's per person. Other sailings, that's not the Bahamas. Bahamas is
Okay.
$150, and that's because it's already been reduced in rate. So Bahamas only is offering $150.
So those Bahamas sailings are particularly very, very, very discounted. And then
Correct.
now we don't have that $200 offer on every single sailing.
No,
but
not right. It was
there
only
is
selected.
a very long list of sailings where we can offer those $200 per person discount on top of any other published promotion that's out there. That's going to be exclusive discount for those that attended today's event. Correct?
Correct. Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, I certainly want to encourage our guests today to unmute yourself and ask us some questions, maybe interact just a little bit with us and let us know how you guys are feeling. Maybe, let me see, I see Michael Koval. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing fine.
What do you think? What do you think of Crystal so far? Do you like it?
I've sailed on Crystal 3 times.
All right.
And so I really enjoyed the service. I think it's 7 stars.
Thank you.
I mean, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I got pampered like I was a king, so I really enjoyed it. So I particularly enjoy the river cruises, and I was looking forward to maybe a Rhine cruise or something like that in the near future. Certainly, I still am concerned. I've had my vaccine, me and my wife both, and we were looking forward to maybe a 2022 cruise because we've got some health issues that we got to resolve before then. I want to get those out of the way. But overall, I love it. I mean, I've never been treated so well, and I've done several cruises throughout some of the major cruise lines. But I particularly, like I said, the cruise crew and everybody on Crystal Cruises is just 7 stars.
Thank you, Michael, for that.
We didn't practice this before, I promise.
And I want to address Jack's question. It's 13 nights.
Oh, that's for the journey.
Yeah, the Viking journey. Yeah, 13 nights.
Great. So Jack, reach out to Jack if you're still on here. Got any questions or anything? You can go ahead and unmute yourself. But I'll pick on a couple of you. Michael Connell. I know, Michael. I think you've sailed with Crystal before. You still there?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you now.
All right. Thanks for joining us. You sailed with Crystal in the past. How do you feel about the experience?
Well, actually, no, I haven't been on Crystal, so it's one that I've looked at trying out sometime. So I've heard this. There's some new deals. I've been on Regent, Oceana, and some of the others. So I've been anxious to compare and contrast. So this has been most informative.
You're gonna notice a lot of difference for the better.
Thank you. We actually have Jack actually sent a message, so I appreciate the answer. That implies $1,000 per person per night. Okay, so I guess it was just him just kind of making a statement there. Anybody else that maybe wants to come on? Ronald Dusa. You with us? There he is. Hey, Ronald, how are you? He unmuted himself, but we can't hear him. Nope, we can't hear him. We'll move on. I gotta say this name, Tom Arnold. Love it. Tom, are you with us? No, got a lot of quiet people on here.
Tom is one of our great guests. He's booked quite a few cruises with us, and I know he'll very much love to. I'm not sure if he's already sailed with Crystal before. I can't recall, but I'm sure he'd enjoy very much if he hasn't. What about John Tam? John, how are you? I know you haven't sailed with Crystal, I think, at least not with us. But how do you like it so far? We got a shy audience today, huh?
How about Carolyn Atkins? She's a great guest of ours, and I know that she is ready to set sail on a I believe it's a Crystal River cruise coming up in April of 2022. Carolyn, if you're there, I know we talk a lot, so just give us your take on your experience with Crystal in the past, or what you're looking forward to.
Oh, thank you. I have been sailing with other cruises, and I actually booked the Crystal's River cruise, sailed to Amsterdam for the tulips, and that it was originally booked for this past April, but because of the pandemic, we had to postpone it to 2022. And so basically I heard a lot about Crystal Cruises, how wonderful it is. That's truly more than first class cruise experience. And that's what I am looking forward to. And so right now, we are just building up the expectations. And I'm on today just to learn more updated information about this COVID thing. And but you have also answered all that questions about vaccinations and PCR testing. And hopefully by April next year, I hope the rules will be more relaxed and back to normal in some form. But definitely we are expecting to enjoy this, like Michael said, maybe 7-star cruise experience.
I'm glad to have you, and we can't wait to welcome you on board.
Well, thank you.
Hey, Andy. Go ahead, Carolyn. Finish your thoughts. No worries.
No, I'm also hoping that the discount would apply to the existing booking. But
no.
unfortunately, that was
Sorry.
just for the new bookings.
But we'll make sure. Hopefully, we can get you excited about something new to book with Crystal, and that way we can apply it. How about that?
I'm gonna take you up on that.
There you go.
Hey, Andy, I have a question for you regarding river cruising with Crystal, right?
Yeah.
So obviously there's a few. David, if you have a question, go ahead. Feel free.
So are you referring to David Bieber?
Yes, David Bieber.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm Sherry. David stepped away. I'm his wife.
Hi,
so
Sherry.
we're both on under his name.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I've been listening, and it's been wonderful. We have sailed on Crystal 3 times, both on a Serenity and Symphony and Ravel River cruise. It's almost hard to put into words what it is about Crystal. But it's luxury, but it's done in a way that it absolutely feels personal, and it's you have to go back. It's like you go, and then you're drawn to go back, and it's very comfortable, and I find the food is extremely well done. And I'm not going to say like high end. It is high end, but a lot of it is like high quality home cooking. Like it's, the stocks are made from scratch, for example. I mean, this is the kind of feeling you get about it. Like almost slow cooking, somebody is taking their time. You get the feeling on board that everyone cares to do a good job, and they are doing an excellent job, and you get to be part of it, witness it, and it becomes you. And that's what that reference to crystallization, or being crystallized. I mean, I never liked that term. I don't think we're a typical crystal cruiser. We have been cruising since '79. We have been on, a lot of other lines, and Crystal, it's like coming home, really. And I so look forward to it. We have a lot actually scheduled, cruising with Crystal starting in May of '22, and like 5 back-to-backs, and then another whole series of, I think, also 5 back-to-backs in '23. But I think we might have to plan something for maybe early December or something. I don't know. We are going we are going to Iceland, but not with you guys. But that was because we planned it before you guys started.
That's okay.
Doing that. But you're getting plenty of our attention anyway. And we truly adore Crystal, really.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
I do have a question. So Serenity, is that going to have the supper club?
Yes, it will.
Okay, so there's nothing. I mean, I know you mentioned the dance hosts won't. You're really basically saying that's the only thing that I should notice a difference. In other words, we love to like have a nice dinner and then go have some entertainment. That's going to all be the same, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's not going to change. No.
Okay, very good.
And we did not practice that one neither.
I like it.
Andy, we actually have a question from one of our guests regarding cancellations. I've had some issues, some cancer issues on fighting, and so far winning the battle. That's awesome. However, I've had to come back a couple of times, so I'm very nervous to book something too far in advance in the future. Any thoughts on how she can protect herself? And also about single cruisers, so solo travelers. I like more space and hate to share the smaller cabins. Any changes in this area coming up?
So, and let me just make like a little clarity. Are you saying to protect yourself as in protecting yourself as in yourself, or protecting yourself as in, what are my options if I have to cancel due to something? I was thinking you get some clarity on that.
Yeah, if you can unmute yourself, Kathy, that would probably help. If not, you can go ahead and answer on the chat as well.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. We can.
Okay,
Hi, Kathy.
perfect. Hi, how are you?
Very good.
I'm glad. I mean, how do I protect myself if they come back with another not such good news on the cancer front and say I can't travel or that kind of thing? How do I protect myself so I don't lose my whole investment?
Yeah, sure.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So actually, I'll answer it one way, and then Jazz maybe can answer the second one when it comes to vacation protection. So I'll let him do that particular avenue. But at Crystal, we do have those relaxed cancellation policies that you can cancel for any reason. Doesn't necessarily have to be your situation, it can be anything. So if you're looking at 2022, 2023 or beyond, we do have that time between here and then that you can cancel for any reason. Once you get into final payment, once you get after final payment, that's when, we go into the penalty stages. But Jazz, that's probably something that you may want to just touch on, or Kathleen get her LCC advisor talk about more about travel protection. But that's something that, if you're concerned about, definitely would recommend you to look into travel protection, and that is after the final payments.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kathy, I'll just speak a little bit on this, and if Carlos or anybody else wants to jump in, that's fine also. But we always recommend travel protection insurance, okay? Whether it's through the cruise line, third party, or maybe you have, through your credit card or whatever the case may be. Always recommend it, especially if there's a pre-existing condition. Certain cruise lines, probably for the most part, most of them, if you book the insurance within a certain time frame, they will cover pre-existing as well. So that's something we can kind of get into a little further. But we always do recommend travel protection and insurance, especially in cases like this, but just altogether as a whole. Carlos, I don't know if you want to kind of add to that at all.
Yeah, so for the most part, I think it's very important to highlight that, especially third-party insurance companies, and maybe Andy can clarify on behalf of Crystal, they all have pre-existing condition waiver, as long as you purchase insurance within 2 weeks of you making the deposit. So, hopefully, we'll very much look forward to you being able to cruise, of course, and everything goes okay with your medical condition. But the way to protect it is by just purchasing insurance, which exists precisely for that. And so, because it is covering your pre-existing condition, as long as you book it within 14 days of you making the deposit, then anything that, even if it's related to that, will be covered and be able to get 100% of your money.
Okay, I'll check that out with the company. The way I understood it with the company that I have my annual travel policy with, it sounded like any pre-existing condition was not covered.
Yeah, and that's normally what would happen with those annual plans.
Okay.
So most of those annual plans, and sometimes even the credit card company, insurance companies, will not have that waiver, that pre-existing condition waiver.
Okay.
And so what we can do is, if you already have that annual plan that will cover you, those are great, by the way. Those annual plans are great for medical coverage when you're traveling, right? But they usually have lots of limitations when it comes to the travel investment pre-departure, especially because you can only be covered for so many trips a year, and the amount for which you can be covered is also limited on those annual policies. So what you want to do is, we might want to find an insurance policy that doesn't necessarily have a lot of coverage for post-departure, because you have that covered with your current existing policy. We can save you money there, and then make sure that we have one that can cover you at least for your pre-departure investment, and that has that pre-existing waiver. So we'll have to get into the detail of it, and we can do that offline at any time. But just so you know, that's the type of stuff that any of our advisors at Luxury Cruise Connections can be able to walk you through step by step, and find the most efficient way to do this without having to waste any money, because you already have that big policy that you have for on an annual basis. Yet make sure that you're covered for your trip. Okay.
Super. Thank you very much. That's helpful.
Problem. And Carlos, also, right, regarding that annual coverage, anything that's left over you can supplement as well. So again, we can kind of get into that offline with your advisor. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Mary has a question regarding lectures. Will there be any lectures, Andy, on the Bahama cruise? Because that's something that they always look forward to. It's one of their favorite things on Crystal.
Yeah, as far as I know, yes. I mean, nothing has changed other than the dance parties and the babysitting and children activities. So nothing has changed as far as I know. But again, like I mentioned, things are fluid. Situation can change at any time. But I would say check reflections when you get on board. But there isn't any changes as far as I'm aware of.
Very good. I actually have one more question regarding river cruising with Crystal. I know that one of my guests is obviously already booked on it. The uniqueness of booking a river cruise with Crystal as opposed to some of the other river cruising lines, what's unique about river cruising with Crystal as a whole? Is there differences
Wow.
or something that stands out?
That's a lot. There is a lot. So I'll put it this way. So a lot of times, other brands, and again, every brand is great, fantastic. What makes us very unique is, number one, the inclusiveness that we offer. So we offer, our excursions to be included, alcohol to be included, gratuity, so forth and so on. Basically, you do not need to worry about anything on board our river cruises, maybe a spa. Yeah, we do actually have a spa on board our river cruises. But talking about, and I think I saw the question here. Actually, no, it was the single stateroom. About space, and that also implies to our river cruises. So our river cruise space is actually pretty larger than any other brand that's out there. And instead of queen size or double beds, something like that, we have actual king size beds in our river cruise. Also, there are balconies. So, and I want you to think it's not the balcony, not the outboard balconies that you have on ocean ships. These are actually more inboard, and that it's convertible into an ocean view and a balcony. Actually, the window does come down to convert it into a balcony. So one of the things also that I noticed about our river cruises is the staterooms are all suites, and they do have that butler service, just like the Endeavor. So you have all of these inclusiveness, all of these things that we offer river cruise into makes it a great experience. Like Michael said, you have that 7-star experience. We call it 6-star, but hey, another star, why not? When you're traveling on a river cruise. Another thing is that, again, we don't sacrifice the entertainment. Granted, we don't have the big auditoriums, just like a river, an ocean cruise rather, but we have more cabaret style, piano. We keep our folks entertained. So, and not to mention with the itineraries that we go to. So all of these are factors a great river experience. My personal favorite will have to be the class of wines that we have on board. Again, I love wine. I'm sure everybody loves wine here, but I noticed that the selection of wines on are very unique, and I see our connoisseurs pick out different sources of wines in the areas that we go to. So to me, that is more important here for me. But again, if space is something that you want, or be entertained, the ship in general, and for those that have been on our river cruises, you can attest to this, that you see kind of the outside world in. You're not going to be, you don't feel that enclosed. We have a lot of windows that you see daytime, nighttime. You see all of that. It really that enhances that experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Andy. I know I put you on the spot there with that one. That was a lot of info.
No, it was a lot to cover. I was like, how can I cover? I'm going into like a 10-minute or 20-minute thesis on it.
I mean, look, you haven't spoken too much about this, but the truth is, Crystal Cruises is probably, I think, between you guys and Oceania are the 2 cruise lines that spend the most amount of money on dining than any other per guest than any other cruise line out there, right?
That's right.
And that really sets you guys apart in a big way. So I think we gotta really emphasize on the culinary experience on Crystal is quite unique.
I mean, one of the river cruise also, and then kind of tell, you can probably tell I love food and wine. I mean, don't we all? But I can one of the things that I love about the river cruising is the pantry, and the pantry, it's manned 24 hours. And if you want from a cookie to a glass of wine, someone's always there to help you out.
That's amazing.
Andy, may I add something?
Absolutely, please do.
Well, okay, so I have been on 3 different company river cruises, and the best thing about Crystal was that if you wanted to sit at a 2-up, you could. If you wanted your dinner with just you and your partner, that was available. That's like not available for the most part. It's definitely not available on Viking. And we were on Uniworld, and it was mostly 4-ups. And I love that on Crystal, you could go either way. You could sit with another couple if you wanted to, but there were a lot more two-ups than anything else, and I think everybody really appreciated that and enjoyed it. And I agree with you about, of course, about the food for sure, and the wine selections is fantastic. Yes.
Thank you.
Andy, we have a question here from Stephen Stone that he's booked on the Esprit in August of 22. He was originally booked on September 22, but the boat was later fully chartered by a group, so he was booted off. So he's happy to find the different same itinerary at a different time, but he's a bit miffed about being kicked off the boat. What's Crystal's policies regarding charting the whole boat, and when it's already booked with passengers, and how can he be assured that he won't get booted again?
So, and actually, it's not just Crystal's. Actually, every cruise line has, the opportunity for folks to charter the ships. So, and this is a very hard question to answer, but I'm going to do my best. So, is there guarantees? No, there isn't any guarantees. I would say, behind the scenes to charter a ship is it's very hard. I mean, I've gotten a lot of requests for ships, and for us to charter a ship, we have to look at what's the capacity in a particular sailing. Would the itineraries match? Were folks what's the revenue and all that jazz. So to your question, what's the guarantees they won't get booted off again? Honestly, it's I would say it's going to be rare that you are going to get booted again from another sail. But I can't say with a guarantee that's not going to happen again. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, no pun intended, to see what exactly, but it is fairly rare to do a charter ship. So I don't know, again, what you were offered. I don't know. And again, all cruise lines deal the same thing. We try to fairly compensate, our guests, with a similar itinerary, with your rate protected. If it's something that it's a rare itinerary, you got a different itinerary, I know some monetary compensation, but usually if it's the same itinerary, same stateroom, same rate, there's usually nothing else offered. But again, I don't know. I don't know what your situation would be. But I hopefully that answers your question. I don't know, if what happened as far as, what you got offered, but that's basically goes behind the scenes what a charter is about. If the sailing was empty, and you have seen that happen, then, we take that sailing for someone that, can promise us more staterooms than the folks already booked.
Yeah, let me just add something here, Stephen. First of all, the fact that you are even considering going on the Esprit is amazing. The Esprit is extremely unique. It's probably going to be the best vacation experience you will ever have, regardless of what you're comparing it with. I mean, it's the crystal level of service taken to another level, in a ship that is, as I'm sure no more than 30 people, where everybody is on top of you, making sure that you are extremely well taken care of. So why am I saying this? The fact that you're considering to go on the Esprit tells me that you're obviously looking for that very exclusive level of service, right? That's something that you will get from any small ship, and the fact that it's in crystal, take that, multiply by 10. Now, in any small ship that you book, you're going to have a greater chance of it being chartered. This is going to be on any brand, right? Whether any brand that has a small ship, right? And there are some some other small ships out there, that are comparable options. Nobody at the level of Crystal with only 30 people, but any ship that is small is going to have that chance. So, the one thing that you want to know is, number one, is the cruise line actively looking to charter those ships? Right? The answer is no. The cruise line is not actively looking to charter that ship, although they do take requests as they come, right? So that's that's one thing that you want to look for. The other thing is, what's going to be that policy, or what's going to be that behind the scenes, that decision-making process on behalf of the cruise line when it comes to chartering a ship. I'll tell you this much from what I know, Stephen. Any cruise line, if they're not, if they have a revenue department that knows exactly what the expectation is in terms of booked business for that ship based on how far away they are. That all was made even more difficult with COVID because, whatever historical data they had, it's completely thrown, out the window. And so it is likely to see cruise lines, just any cruise line, make decisions in terms of chartering a ship in ways that you hadn't seen before, because obviously they want to secure business. But in general, if ships are tracking well, then they will definitely steer away a charter business for two reasons. Number one, because it becomes very costly for them to put people off. But number two, because the cost of getting people pissed off about it is even greater. So the good news is moving forward, and as we move into the second part of 2021 and 2022, the ships are tracking extremely well. The demand out there is so great, and especially for small ships like the Esprit, the demand is so great that they really have to be in a very, very unique situation for that ship to be chartered if they have guests on board or already booked. Hopefully that'll make you feel a little bit more comfortable. I know it's I hope it didn't sound like a very generic answer, but really is the best answer that applies for any cruise line, not just Crystal. And I know for a fact that Crystal really considers making sure the clients are not upset, and they know that this type of stuff gets everybody upset. So,
Hey, Andy, I have a
Yes.
question for you.
Go ahead, my friend.
From a guest who couldn't attend. She said, Steve, when will Crystal go back to Italy? And also, when will Crystal go back to Japan? And she wanted me to tell her what areas of the world, and I didn't know Crystal goes everywhere, but what areas of the world are there strong suits? Whatever that means.
Wow. So that's a very good question. So I honestly don't have the answers to that. Now for the strong suits, we mainly our strong suit is Europe. I may have to pick one particular area will be Europe. That's our summer season is always full, and the summer season actually there's more inventory in Europe, but and that's just kind of to pinpoint an answer. But before COVID, we went. You're right. We went everywhere, and depending on what experience you want to do, whether it's river or yacht or we didn't have expedition back then, but ocean, we go everywhere. But Europe, if I had to pinpoint at something, it would be Europe. As far as any itineraries, Japan, stuff like that, so forth and so on. I don't have the answer for that right now.
Are they planning it for 2022 yet or no? Not yet.
I don't have the answer to that question.
Okay, I'll check. Thanks.
I wanna before we wrap it up, I wanna share with you guys real quick something I just found. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Yeah,
All right. If anybody's looking to do something quite unique, I want everybody to consider something like this on the Endeavor for March 2022. Just wanted to kind of pitch this one because look at this, is doing this crossing that is quite unique from Ushuaia to Cape Town. You're going to see a more variety of penguins on this itinerary that you could ever see in your life, probably if you even tried. And so just wanted to kind of share this. I literally I came back from South Africa so excited. I started to look for every single itinerary that touched South Africa, and I found this. Thought I would share this with everybody. So just kind of pitch it out there for you guys.
Nice, thank you.
That's very nice.
I think that we're gonna wrap it up here. And again, thank you, Andy, so much for coming on and giving us this presentation. I think we all benefited from it. And again, for any guests that don't have an advisor, please make sure to reach out to us. Send us an email with any questions, or if you'd like for one of us will definitely reach out to you either way. And for those of you who are working with an advisor already over at Luxury Cruise Connections, please make sure that you follow up with them. I'm sure they'll follow up with you as well. So again, Andy, thank you so much for coming on and doing this for us. And anybody else that got a question in, we'll make sure we'll reach out to you offline as well with any remaining questions or concerns that you might have also.
Carlos, Jazz, thank you much for having the whole team at LCC. You guys are my partners, and a lot of love for every one of you. And for those who are coming back on board, welcome back, welcome home. As most of you put out there, that Crystal is your second home, and we're ready and able to welcome you back with open arms. So those of you who are coming to us for the first time, welcome to the family, and definitely you're going to see what we're all about. And thank you very much for this time, and hope to do another one here in the future.
Thank you, Andy.
Andy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Nice day.
All right. Bye-bye.